любителями автомобильного спорта, с новым дрифтом вас и добро пожаловать на Atron International
Welcome
Circuit.
to the Atron International Ryazan Oblast. It's the second stage of Grand Prix of Russia Drift Series 2018. Arkady Puccini traditionally took the place on the start line. We will have the qualification, which will be opened by this driver from St. Petersburg. And let's wait these seconds to understand the judgment procedure. It was changed this season. Well, I should tell you about this procedure. The basic principles have been changed. They're the same. You see the track, it's 460 meters. It's the part of the track, Atron International Circuit. Generally, it's a karting, competition complex and rallycross. But there are many clipping zones this time. There are 4 outside clipping zone and 1 in clipping zone. The movement of the car on the track is judged by 3 criteria: the line and the edge of drift in the clipping zones and clipping points, and the style in British English. In this zone we can see the style judge who operates in this zone, and it's Dmitry Andreevich Dobrovolsky. The very important part of the judging is the zones of decelerations. Only in these zones, which are marked by red color, we can understand that pilots have the opportunity to decelerate, and we understand that there is no such a zone near the outside clipping zone 1. And many drivers were decelerating there because they had to make the transition, and in this point judges will be looking very meticulously. So will they get points for angle and line from 4 to 7 points. So the maximum is 40 points. It's the most expensive clipping zone. It's the outside clipping zone number 2, near this magnet wall. Many cars just kissed this wall in this element. You can see the score. Penalizing board for breaking the criteria in line. The closer you are to the edge or to the wall of the second clipping zone, the more points you will get from the judge by Alexander Sivertsev, who is responsible for the line. About clipping point, which is inside clipping point, near this internal wall, we understand that the maximum is 4 points. And to get this 4 points, you get close to the cone and the white mark there. The penalty for getting off the track, 1 wheel is 2 points, 2 wheels 5 points, 3 wheels 20 points, and 4 wheels is incomplete. After the Furidashi, between 2 white lines, you see that the two cars should get together. During the trainings we've seen two wheels which will got off the track. Dmitry Semyonyuk is the judge of the points in the angle scoring. Good angle differs from a bad angle, that in every piece of track the best angle is its own, and the maximum it's near the wall, and the outer clipping zone number 2 is evaluated maximally 7 points in the angle and the line, and the style is the most complicated parameter. 20 points for fluidity, it's a motion of the vehicle on its own axis. It's about the criteria, the movement of correction, the sharpness of the transition, the right Furidashi, which is... This is all about the fluidity. And we also have the parameter which is very important, it's commitment.
это не является точным переводом, но это важный для нас термин, такой русифицированный. Это все, что относится к активному разгону,
It's about the aggressive throttling,
и к проезду на грань, что называется, такое
driving on the edge, and we have such term in different types of sport,
всегда смертные грехи,
and there are mortal sins, the reasons which will take the points from you, and you will get 0 points for this. It's a spinning out, complete stop.
это, соответственно, повторюсь, это не движение против хода,
It's not the complete stop is not the
а именно раскачка такая автомобиля.
so when you opposite drift is when your car is just moving from one point to another point, from one side to another side, and just changes the direction, and also it's the getting off the track with 4 wheels. Okay, let's see how our drivers will manage this criteria. With the diesel map, the winner of the qualification will get 25 points to his own sac voyage. Who knows, maybe tomorrow we won't have any competitors for this person in top 32. It depends on how many drivers will show results which are more than 0 points. We have 32 competitors firstly, but there were different reasons, and now we don't have 32 pilots, drivers, here in Ryazan. Firstly, we will start with Arkady Puchinin from St. Petersburg. His BMW E30. In this left turn, he's throttling to the Fridashi point. Well, this looks really great from this edge. Wow. He gets through the clipping zone, but he doesn't get it. The second clipping zone. Okay, what's going on? What's gonna happen with the clipping point? Okay, the camera gets it in this part of the track, but he gets better, and the judges recommended to be flying here, but he was only with 1 wheel in the last clipping zone, so he will get more than 1 point for this track, but I cannot say that it's impressive. At the training, he was doing the initiation at the speed of 120 kilometers per hour, but this is according to the DAMS system, which fixes the speed. Unfortunately, I don't have the data about that, but I hope the next stage we will get this opportunity. The champion on the speed was Ilya Fedorov during the initiation, but Fedor Dzezhets and Georgy Chivchan are also good in this criteria, and they were a bit quicker than 130 kilometers, and other drivers were between 120 and 130 kilometers. We will see the numbers on the first try. We will have 2 tries. If somebody is puzzled with the number of cars in this starting zone, just don't be. So it's only 50 points for the first try. Ivan Kurembin, number 11, Mazda RX-7. He's the second year for 150 horsepower with the engine. He's a drifter by aspirations. He's working in drifts here for 1 year. He would have done it closer to the clipping zone, but it's really good for first try, and he will get penalized with the points because he didn't get to the clipping zone from the very first moment. And the last, so he had only lost 1 wheel in the last clipping zone. Generally, that was quite good. This is so the car should get into the short part of this rectangular and get out with its wheels out of the rectangular. Well, he got into the rectangular with the rear wheels, but he was quite far from the wheel, so he will not get the maximum point for the line, and he lost the speed at the inside clipping zone, which I was talking about before.
Задание, уважаемые зрители. Сейчас поступят цифры.
So I'll get the data and tell you the details. Not so much judging, but we've heard it's just 17 for line, 21 for angle, 25 from 44 for the style. Well, it's the best result. Looks like this. Alexander Kazantsev, number 96 from Yekaterinburg, BMW E30 LS engine. Formally, it's the least powerful car on this track, but that's really good for this track because it's a slow track. But some competitors are more powerful with their engines. It goes near the edge in the most expensive clipping zone. Let's look what will happen here. Okay, so it's too close. It got too late in this clipping zone. Well, in the finish line, everything is getting better. It's not a zero result, and we will congratulate him with this. Let's check out the points. Just let me look at this. He will have a penalty for the line. And here he went in from the angle, which is not correct. Which is not... The first try, everything was okay. Many drivers try to get safer in this situation. There will not all the races will be very spectacular, and unlike last year, drivers have only 2 tries, not 3 like last year. So you have only one chance to make up for the fail if you make it. Andrei Ostapov, one more driver from Yekaterinburg. Number 8, Lexus IS 200, 500 horsepower. He has a spotter as a champion of Felix Chitipakharyan, champion of Russian Drift Series. So in this case you should look at the surname of the spotter of this person. So the points are quite okay for the first try. 74 points. It's far from top results. We will see many drivers who will have over 90 points. That will be a bit later. Initiation, but I cannot see this correctly if it was in time or not for Andrei. In the first clipping zone there were some questions, but that will be objectively judged, and so we will know a bit later what happened on the initiation, what happened with the line and approaching the second clipping zone. But from the debut of this attempt, Andrei didn't do this really well, so didn't get into the first clipping zone as I see it. That wasn't very close to the wall, so that's not surprising. That's the last part. It's just all rather simple if you don't lose the speed here between the clipping point, internal clipping point, and the inside clipping zone. It's a big reduction concerning the first stage. It was 440 meters on Moscow Raceway and 460 meters here. Sixteen, 23, 28. It's 67 in total for this first try. Let's wait for the improvement. Let's look at Fedor Vorobyov. It's the only driver on Leda 2105. We have, so it was modified in a great way. So you can see that the wheels look different and there is an engine to JZ. Wow, he was the closest to the wall and he comes to the second clipping zone. Wow, he was better in the trainings, but now it looks great. And now, so the Lada finishes the first try. The first try on the track. Okay, let's congratulate the team Fresh Auto for this race, because he got more than 0 points, definitely.
Летом, официальным летом, календарным, уже будет в наименьшей степени омрачен какими бы то ни было проблемами. Лучший пока проезд.
That's the best attempt, but he's a leader of qualification. So it's 24, 28, 33 points, 85 in total. So we understand it's not 90, but at least it's really good. So we get the general understanding of this race. How the race should have been done. Arkady Tsaregradsky, vice world champion, driver from Krasnoyarsk, and the engine VR38, the most powerful auto car of RDS Grand Prix. In the first try, it seems to me that he increased the level after the first clipping zone. The angle wasn't very good in the second clipping zone, and he just got through this, but no, he just didn't get in. It wasn't quite wide, and here too, so that looks strange. Generally it was spectacular and a good pace, but line was, I believe it won't be judged in a good way. We see this complicated left turn where the car starts drifting earlier and breaks the throttling. Well, we saw the judge was looking at the I think that he is breathing with wires there during the day, but he does a very important job. I hope that in the evening he gets some healthy drinks in the evening. So I have a lot of questions to the line of Arkady Tsaregradsev at this final part of this track. Okay, let's look at the protocols of the judges. So that's so long to wait for the verdict. Arkady Puchinin is waiting for the second try. So I actually believe that Arkady Tsaregradsky will be a leader.
20, 26 и 31. Вот результат, как говорится.
So it's 77 in
77
total.
баллов. Это результат, с которым мы, конечно, могли бы поздравить абсолютно любого новичка.
We can congratulate every newbie in the RDS Grand Prix, but for Arkady it's not very high.
Конечно, будем ждать улучшения.
We're going to wait for improvement of the situation.
Тоже результат не самый блестящий для такого опытного пилота.
Okay, 50 points for Puccini, Arkady Puccini, that's only 50 points, is not enough for him. Okay, so he can risk at the second try, so he will definitely get to the 10 drifts. He's more aggressive on the angle. He just dropped out of the angle, but it didn't happen. Happily, it was a bit late here in this part. No questions in this part. He needs to finish this. Ivan Kurembin is waiting for his part, and we are waiting for the replay and the results of Arkady Puccinin. It seems to me that he was trying to correct the automobile, the car, or just to make the Furidashi. It's a very rare case for BMW E30, which you don't see very often in drifter tournaments. It's a very Bayer engine. Actually, he didn't do well with the last clipping zone in a good way. But actually that wasn't the ideal attempt. So in ideal flight you should have enough speed to make a flight. It's a dynamic. Let's wait for the results. That's an improvement, which is not very big. 20 points for the line, 20 for angle, 26 for the style. So we have 68 points. I believe that the next drifter will remind us what's the maximum points for the drift. And we want to see the kiss the wall. So, approaching this wall. This is the second try for Ivan Kurembin. Initiation was very close to the guardrail. He was aggressive and good. And it was closer to the wall, but you can see that there was smoke near the wall because of the car. He was out of the clipping zone. Okay, what will happen next? Okay, this is half of the clipping zone, and the last clipping zone was not in a very good way, so that wasn't very complicated for him, but didn't look very smooth. Initiation was at 117 kilometers per hour during the training, and for Arkady Tsargradsev I don't get the data, unfortunately. Ah no, it's 120 kilometers per hour. I will remind you.
Потому что у Дмитрия Ермохина тоже не слишком мощный автомобиль, 450 лошадиных сил. Но, впрочем, этого более чем достаточно, чтобы до надлежащих скоростей разогнаться. Здесь вопрос только в том, как эту скорость потом контролировать.
The points are 19, 25 and 32. We can see that the points are really high for the style. Fyodor Vorobyov only had more points. Generally it was really aggressive and looked smooth and nice. Alexander Kazantsev is going on the track in this red BMW. It looks he's more aggressive, this one very close to the edge. He's closer to the wall and the pace is higher. Okay, I can say that I'm not mistaken. Only one accelerating will just separate him from the finish.
74 балла было в первый.
He had 74 points for the first try, and I actually think that he will get more points. But there is not such a high benchmark this time, only 85 points. But Fedor Vorobyov haven't tried this for the second time, so we will see, maybe he will do it better. He was trying to control his car in the last clipping zone. Andrei Stabov at the starting line. Fedor Vorobyov is just warming up his car. The track is rather good to the tires, so sometimes drivers had even the tires even for the third try. So the points are 26, 29, 35. That's really good, and that's great points for the young Galland. In total, it's 90 points. It's a new leader of qualification. Finally, I've seen this 9 points. Andrei Stapov. There were some technical problems with the car during today, but everything is managed, everything is okay, but the first try wasn't very spectacular. It's 67 points. Okay, let's see what will happen in the second try. It's very aggressive attention, and the main idea is not to lose control. He was trying to straighten, but that didn't happen. He managed the situation, but the angle is not enough. Oh, he goes off the track with two wheels and straight wheels. I think it's incomplete and 0 points, unfortunately. Well, maybe he needs the help. But I think, yeah, that's pity. He was very aggressive initiating. And I think they need an evacuation of the car. Unfortunately, cannot continue the motion under the commentator's cabin. Georgy Chevchan went under. So the second qualification group will be soon.
Очень и очень будет интересно. Самое главное будем ждать новых квалификационных рекордов.
Let's wait for the new qualification records. In the lead of qualification, Alexander Kazantsev, 90 points, but it's not too much. It's much, but not as much for us to be surprised. I hope that's not the highest result. This will happen without an evacuation, so that will be quick, and we will continue. We still have the first group. We should watch Fedorov and Vorobyov, and also Arkady Tsargradsev. And I hope that this race will be more spectacular. There's a great weather, 20 degrees above zero, and it's not stuffy but windy. Dear spectators, I believe that you can see the wind, the flags moving. I cannot say that it's a hurricane, but if you just spend some hours there outside, like our judges, you will feel it. Happily we don't have Formula 1, so the cars are not so sensible about the wind, so that doesn't influence them. So when it's not so hot and stuffy, it's okay for the drivers. But for Fedor Vorobyov, maybe it's a bit stuffy there. Ilya Fedorov is near, standing in the line waiting for his attempt.
Чистое мастерство, чистый адреналин, чистый звук. Пионер. Аудиосистема для тебя и твоего автомобиля.
Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires. Скорость. Управляемость. Эмоции. Уверенность. Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Заряжают мегадрайвом. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires.
We are getting back to the Tron International Circuit, where we have the qualification of the second group of RDS Grand Prix 2018, the second approach for Fedor Vorobyov. 500 horsepower, he is accelerating the kart before he does the initiation, and he's getting through the first clipping zone to the wall. He's very close, but not enough, unfortunately. Again, let's see what's gonna happen. He has 90 points at the stake, as will Fedor Vorobyov be better than the result of Alexander Kazantsev? We'll know. We're going to watch it one more time. It's great that the pilots are getting more aggressive. Very spectacular. Tomorrow it will be very important tomorrow. The cones are staying at this curve for drivers to become more used to it. In the qualification we see the very important component of this. They're just training this most important part of this duel races. The better they do it today, the better they will do tomorrow. It seemed to me that he will go out of this last clipping zone, but he did it in the right way. $82 points, there is no improvement. He didn't even have 85 points, only 24 for line, so, but we've seen how many times he just crossed the edge, he was near the edge, so, but everything will happen tomorrow, so he did the main thing for today. Arkady Tsargradsev did the same. Let's look if he can improve his result and be better than 90 points. pace, quite aggressive, very close to the wall. And thank you so much for this try. The wall was shocked. Okay, he goes further. Wow, that looked great. Wow, even better than last time. Yeah, I think that we have a new leader of qualification. Let's figure it out what the judges think about that. So I will just wait, because judges see not the picture on camera. They see this in reality. They see the details and can take the points off for this, because they see it better, they're more clear. Wow, that was wide, the line was wide. We can just use it as an illustration, because that was good. Ilya Fedorov is getting ready to open the second group of drivers. We have only to find out the points of Arkady Tsarigradsev. Here's the contrast between being spectacular and being realistic. It's only 85 points. Concerning that the expression was 95 points, but in reality it's only 85, even if it was aggressive and near the wall. But the judges understood this, really took points out of him. IMO EE team driver, the first stage was the last for the number 13. Wow, he was very close. Wow, he was very close to the clipping zone, into the wall. Even closer than Tsarigradsev, and it's such a pity that finally we see this. There's a mistake in the line. We will see this clear in the replay. We'll see this detailed. Initiation. Well, that wasn't very close to the guardrail, but this was better. That was a centimeter between him and the wall. There's VR38 engine, GTR model, and there are 580 horsepowers. The driver has so many achievements, but he's very young, only 32. In drift it's really young, but we have younger. Nikita Fetisov is the youngest, he's only 20 years old. So there were some problems with the line, but everything was good with the angle, so the total is 85. But he lost 8 points because of this line, and which wasn't as in the diesel map. Vladimir Chivchan, number 14, S14 Sylvia. She looks really beautiful. Wow! He could have crashed on the guardrail, but there was too much dust. If he's safe now, everything's okay. He just made some mistakes, but finishes his first try. We're waiting for the results. Actually, he didn't get to the clipping zone. I will not say anything about the wall, but he was a bit scared because of this aggressivity. 124 kilometers per hour at the training, at the initiation, but I actually believe that now it was quicker. I will check out the data a bit later, but firstly we need the points. For line, 23 for angle, 32 for style. Well, as I thought, the worst is the line, and in total it's 75 points. But he got the high point for the style because of the spectacular race through the first clipping zone. That was almost kissed the wall near the guardrail. Stepan Nazarov at the starting line, Auto Profi team, still S15 with the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 9 engine. Powers, and it's just he wasn't in the clipping zone, he was off the track. He was out the second clipping zone and didn't get into the third clipping zone, so he will get some point for the... Well, it was better with the... Oh! He didn't stop, but there is a spinning in 10 meters after the clipping zone. Let's watch it one more time in details. We know the result, so it's 0 points, definitely. He was wide where he needed to be narrow, Stepan Nazarov. That looked like a situation when you don't have the rear wires, but that shouldn't happen on the first try. He has 3 zeros instead of 1. He will get the 0. Silver S14, Yuri Perepechka from Belarus, Minsk, number 20. Lamborghini once performed at this car. It may look familiar for you, but that's a bit different, a different color. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, the first try is unsuccessful. It's 0. The replay won't be very long because he got only to the second clipping zone, but during the trainings he was better, he was spectacular, really good. He managed this during the training. Let's see what will happen at the second try. Sometimes that happens, that when sportsmen train too much, they don't perform very well during the competition. Artur Merkulman, the winner of the qualification of the first stage, the driver of Toyota's Guerrilla Energies this season. The same car, still the S14 with the engine 2JZ. He was out of the first clipping zone. He will not really in the qualification with this result. Everything is okay in the inside clipping zone. Gradually he's trying to rehab, make up for the mistakes, but the line is not great. Okay, it's not zero, definitely. Okay, we will figure this out a bit later. He was just concentrated on the rear wheels and throttling like this. Well, that's quite a sad situation because he didn't get into the first clipping zone. Well, he was late for the outside clipping zone. But this was really spectacular, definitely. Well, the last race for the... Okay, let's wait for the points. Ilya Fedorov is ready. $79 points. 19 for the line, but that was evident. But pity. That's the 5th position. Well, the second try for Ilya Fedorov. He can risk. 85 points for the first try. He can struggle for the highest position. I think it was the wheel out of the try, but you can see this clearly. He was in the middle of the second clipping zone. And only 2 clipping zone till the finish, but he doesn't get into the first one, and oh no. Well, this wasn't very successful. There were so many stages performed here on Atron International Circuit, but even the training doesn't help the drivers. They make the mistakes again. Actually, the clipping zone was transferred, but because the drivers asked for this, but still they make mistakes. Vladimir Chivchan at the starting line. We're waiting for the points for the second try of Ilya Fedorov. It's a bit worse than last time. 22, 27, 33 points and less points for the angle. He lost the least points for the angle, but this result is a bit puzzling concerning the experience of this driver and his victories here in Ryazan. But this time he's not as successful as he was before. Let's wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see him in tandem drifts. Vladimir Chivchan, forward auto team. Initiation, it was a bit less aggressive, but it was very spectacular. He got into the second clipping zone, not so close to the wall as it is possible. We wanted this, but he got a small correction in the inside clipping zone, and he did a traditional mistake with the late getting into the clipping zone. He had 75 points for the first try. That should be an improvement, but I don't think that will be dramatic. On the first spot is really spectacular. I get the feeling that some drivers get the tactics of three approaches. So the first one we're not doing our best, the second we're just trying to do it without mistakes, and the third try is doing our best as we can. But unfortunately we have only 2 tries, so you should be at your maximum during the second try. This procedure has been changed for the dynamics of the process, and this doesn't let the pilots to get tuned to. 23, 24, 32 points. It's a small improvement, 79 points in total. Well, now it's do or die for Stepan Nazarov. So the question is whether the Autoprofi will take part with all the members tomorrow. Okay, stop lane, initiation. He wasn't in the first clipping zone as the last time, but here the road was very good, deep. Inside clipping was better, but he had some mistakes with the inside clipping zone. And how did this happen? He should continue this. Well, Honda, the judges will give him some points, but he almost stopped. Well, how did this happen? Because in the end, he could have done anything there, but how did this happen? With a good angle. But here there were some problems with the line, but I would tell you that the main thing was to get some points, at least minimal points, but not a 0. That will be called unchaseable run tomorrow. I still have no information. Yuri Perpechka's at the starting line. Well, the judges asked to show the replay one more time because it's a dramatic moment for the Autoprofi team. It's an exclusive project. It was a very complicated thing to put the engine in this car, a different engine into this car, which is applicable in rally, but people just don't usually do this in drifting. But they had to make many things to put this engine in this car. So there are some questions about the driving, not about the car. Let's wait for the official title. The judges are still thinking it over, so let's watch it one more time. I think that if there is a marketologist of the company, he's just thinking about the time on air. This race gave so much time of the brand on air. But I don't think that was intentionally. Actually, I don't understand how he made the situation so unstable. we still have Yuri Perepechka and Artur Melkumyan in this group. And then we're waiting for the third group.
Впечатляющим своим выступлением обратил на себя внимание и оказался в числе пилотов, которые представляют автопрофи официально в Гран-при российской дрифтерии в этом сезоне. Там Георгий Чевчан, действующий чемпион РДС, разминается. Но все это будет несколько позже, нам осталось дождаться результата.
We should wait for the results. So he got the points. 15 for the line, 27 for the angle, 22. That's he's a record breaker because it's a very low points. But the angle, this angle was judged in a high way, so 27 points and 64 in total. Yuri Perepechka, 585 horsepower. Silvia S14 from Belarus and Minsk. Let's support him. Let's wish him. Oh no. I just asked you to support him. Why did this happen? Unfortunately. Just give him a right of ovation. Unfortunately, he has 2 zeros. That means that he will not get into tandem drifting tomorrow. That's really dramatic. Artur Melkumyan will finish the second group. I will remind you that he had 79 points for the first try. And I will remind you that he won the qualification of the first stage RDS Grand Prix. And now he shouldn't be nervous, he will have the place in tandem drifting. There is no green signal. Green light. Let's go. Silvia S14 is starting off. And comes to the Furidashi zone. Initiation. He didn't get to the wall with one. He was out of the track with one wheel, I believe. Oh, it's a good bolt transition before the last collision zone, but it was a bit bad with the line. The angle was very big, and I think it was an uncontrolled finish, but he managed to do this. So he's in the same state as Azarov, but he had enough inertia and professionalism to manage the situation, and he finished. But it's not a big improvement in this case. You can see the shift and the front wheel out of the track, so the judges will score it. Such a drama that he didn't have good with this clipping zone, he didn't have enough inertia. 84 points for the second try. 22, 28 and 34 points for the line, angle and style. I'm trying to understand whether somebody had Fedor Vorobyov had the same points, 28 points for the angle, and it's the maximum point. What about line? It's worse. I will surprise you because Fedor Vorobyov has 24 points and it was maximum. Sergratsev had 27, I'm sorry, and that was the maximum. 27 is still not 30, that's the problem. Dmitry Yernokhin was standing on the start line, but then he moved somewhere because he wanted to warm up his car. It's Supra of Yaroslav Gavrikov. It was white not long ago, and it was driven by Evgeny Rozheynikov. But Yaroslav Gavrikov decided to try his best and came back to the professional drift. Here's Dmitry Yernokhin. He looks very young, but he's 30, but he looks like 18. 400 horsepower, SR20. Very aggressive throttling. The champions for Furidashi about training and human training. That's a good pace. This is the first try. Oh no, that wasn't very good with the inside clipping zone, but the outside clipping zone, that is impossible to get in for them all. Okay, let's wait for the points. I hear the judges speaking about by radio. I hear the judges talking about the race from Furidashi zone. They tell that that's not the maximum point, because the things which we see and the judges see is a different thing. So in reality it's absolutely different. Supra of Yaroslav Gavrikov is at the start. Very good point for this style. 22 points for the line, 86 points, that's the second result. Yaroslav Gavrikov at the start line. 480 horsepower, 2JZ engine, Toyota Supra. Colors, and I believe it doesn't show you the shape of it's a very big angle after the initiation. He just cleared the second clipping zone. But I'll tell you this is only the first approach, so he have an opportunity to improve this. But not to get zero for this, he was very deep in this last clipping zone. In real time, we see the speed 120 kilometers per hour. was almost what was the line? I cannot see this from this angle, but I hope that it was on the track, but he was very wide, his line was very wide, and I Georgi Chivchan, forward auto team, unfortunately, which is not fully here. They don't have all the teammates. Igor Nikolin didn't manage to come here to resign. He is okay, but he has his own life, not only drift, and sometimes he has different plans. (23, 26, and 30 points for the line, angle, and style. So it's 79 points in total. Comparing to the other drivers, that looks really nice. The champion of Russian Drift Series, Georgi Chivchan and his Silvia. It's a green light. His first try. Wow, that was a great initiation, but that will not finish like anything. That's really pity. Two wheels were out of the track. The problem is that he didn't break the limits. It was very dirty. There's so many pieces of tires, and unfortunately the grip is not as tight as the pilot wanted, so that's really complicated. 0. Unbelievable, but we believe that he will get a better result. I think that he will score a better result. Anton Svarinsky at the start, number 7, Team Fresh Auto. He should have been in the first group, but asked to shift. They were working with the car. But not this. Stato Super, duet of Stato Super and Svarinsky. And almost kissed the wall, which was very spectacular. There was a bit of air between him and the wall. And that is not the whole track. Oh, that's a pity, because this outside cutting zone takes points out of Anton, because he would have a spectacular result. The speed was 108 kilometers per hour at the initiation by the data of the DAMS telemetric system, which is used in Belarus for a long time. As an experiment, we get this data and judges score this data, but they are not the most important data we have. I think that it will be more important tomorrow if we get some
заезда и соответствующим образом, скажем, на итоговом решении судейского триумвирата.
81 points totally, quite good for the first try. He will have the place in tomorrow tandem drift. Dmitry Yermokhin is ready to start for the second try. First was for 86 points. 36 were for the style. That was a good pace and a good try. Let's see what will happen with the second approach. Let's wait for the signal. quite aggressive. There's a real throttling here, very bold initiation, but far from the guardrail and far from the wall. He was skirted into inside clipping zone, and we have some questions about the outside clipping zones. And it's about the line, because that was the weakest component with the first try. He doesn't get many points for the first try for the line. I think that he should have changed the line, but he didn't do this, unfortunately, during his second try. One more driver from the Autoprofi team is waiting for his try. It's Evgeny Losev. I just wanted to talk about him, not only because we're looking at his teammate, but Evgeny Losev is a leader of the scoreboard, so he's a winner of the first stage, so it's correlated. He made it better for 1 point, improved this for 1 point. It's 87 in total. Quite stable. Yaroslav Gavrikov at the start line. With corrections into stages, he will get the penalty for this. He just lost the speed near the last clipping zone, but he can decelerate there. There was a problem with the rear axle, and he started the drift on a different side, and when he needed to make this drift, he didn't manage to do this in time. Just did too much with the handbrakes and lost the speed. We cannot. Let's wait for the points of Yaroslav Gavrik, and then we'll know the truth for Gochi and Georgy Chivchan, who has the last chance to get into the tandem drifting tomorrow. It's quite understandable that he should do this because of his experience, but he also has nerves. That's a slight improvement, 25, 26, 33 points, 84 points. That's the best try for him. It's the 6th position for now.
На эту секунду много там еще пустых клеточек и нолики напротив фамилии Чевчан и имени Георгий. К сожалению,
Georgy Chivchan has still 0 points because his first approach stopped at the spectacular Furidash. Let's look what will happen now. Georgy Chivchan, Krasnoyarsk forward auto team. Very good pace to start this race. He's just right in the clipping zone. position. It's not very important now. It's not a 0-0 try, so they were. We knew this for sure, but it was quite dramatic. Outside clipping zone, which have reduced so many results today. Anton Sveritsky is at the start. Judges are just writing the points. We're waiting. One more time. Let's look at the replay. Judges need that. It really looks nice. It was a good aggressive initiation, but he was quite far from the guardrail. As far from the wall, but yeah, that was the first try for him, and he doesn't need to risk too much here, and he understands that. And he understands what was at the stake. Unfortunately, we cannot see whether the initiation was in time or not. There are 3 cones here, but from this angle it seems to me that it was a bit late. And it seems to me that it's a very... Actually, this part of the track could not be seen visible from the judge's position, judge's point of view, so that's why it's a bit complicated. You can see the results. It's 87 points for the second try for Georgy Chivchan. It's really surprising to see these results for the third position, because he should have had more than 90 points, but in this qualification we have this reality, these results. Anton Svarinsky having 81 points for the first try. Let's look for his results after this try. The left turn. Total, you can see that the initiation was good and he got into first clipping zone, 111 kilometers per hour. It wasn't very close, very quick. Finishing to wasn't very quick. And again we have the same problem. He doesn't get into this clipping zone. It's not the simplest place. After the wall you lose the speed, but then you need to accelerate, but I would not say that it's impossible to make. It's very complicated to judge it because it's slow motion. But firstly I thought that it's not so quick, even without slow motion. did it in time. That was okay with an inside clipping zone, and then after that he had problems with the line. Generally, line is very complicated for the drivers today, as we can see. Vladimir Chevchan is starting off. He's coming to his team. And Anton Svarinsky is improving his points. 24, 28 and 32. Now he gets 84 points. It's the 7th position, according to this car number 7. Will he stay at the 7th position? But we will know about this a bit later. It's Ilya Arkhipov, the driver from Voskresensk. He's on BMW E46. Is he for acceleration? I think it was quite quick. Yeah, 123 kilometers per hour. But he wasn't in the second clipping zone, unfortunately. So if you have a good pace, then you can manage to do other things. In this sense, drift is like aviation. In aviation, you can do nothing without speed. The previous owner of this car, Igor Belinki, is working as a spotter here for Arkhipov. So he's like a coach. Generally, he didn't get into the second clipping zone, and it's the most expensive. It's 7 points for the line and angle. It seemed to me that finally he almost lost control, but he did this. It's not a 0 result, definitely. Okay, let's find out. Here we can see the... They're just standing like for a parade. $67 points. Finally for Arkhipov, only 14 for the lines, less than a half. But even with this result, it's the highest part of the protocol. Sergei Kavargin, known as Ziggy Kaba, on his own work of art, exclusive car flanker F, 121 km per hour at the initiation. This is a custom engine made by RDS. He debuted the last stage with this car, and at times we were actually thinking over the fine tunes in the tandem drifting, and he tried the Supra in tandem drifting. We've seen this great car in the qualification. Those who will be here tomorrow, they will be able to see this car there with their own eyes, because it's really detailed and it's fabulous. It looks better than many supercars.
Ну, а судьи сейчас посчитают баллы.
And the judges will give out the points.
Неплохая первая попытка.
It's a good first try. 21 for line, 28 for angle, 34 for style. Totally it's 83 points. The 10th position, I think that he could do this better. Everyone could have done this better. So that was not the maximum of the opportunities today. Rostislav Brylov from Barnaul, Mazda RX-8. Just look how he's driving, 112 kilometers per hour at the initiation. That wasn't not enough angle here. And here traditionally we see that people have a problem with the outside clipping zone number 3. The peculiarity of this track is that the track is not very stretched, but it has so many transitions and clipping zones, and the map is very complicated, even if the speed is not very high. And that's actually the contradiction to the Sochi track, because they don't have many turns and big speeds. Actually, we're very lucky that we have so various tracks in Russia, and we can see pilots, drivers in different situations. There's one more guest from a very far region of Russia, Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, Alexander Podvishensky. Only 66 points for Rostislav Brylov for his first run. He's ranked 16th. Alexander Podvishensky, the driver from Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. It's very far, for those who don't know. The car, as I know, is in Krasnoyarsk, and Krasnoyarsk also came to Krasnoyarsk to train, and there was a there will be a stage of, wow, he gets off the track, still he gets off the track, but I just wanted to tell you the story about the biography. So it's not the debutee of the RDS Grand Prix who just wants to compete with the best drifters of our country, but it's just a person who opened the world of drift not so long ago for himself. And I think that it's not only the lack of experience, but also a psychological pressing. So he feels these complications, because to try something, try it first time in the best tournaments is very complicated. But he has zeros for the first approach. I would like to tell you something optimistic about that, about his prospects, but now I will not do this. And about this lady, I can tell you I'm very optimistic. Ekaterina Nabozhenko is doing her second season in Russia. It's 104 kilometers per hour in training. Oh, there was a mistake at the beginning. Oh, here she did this well in the line and near the wall. Wow, and she straightened. Unfortunately, wow. 110 kilometers. It's quicker than during the training. Unfortunately, she gets 0 for this approach. But she was nervous because at the training she was doing this better. She was much better, and you know, it's a pity for me that you haven't seen this. Everything was okay for a short period of time, but She could have got good points for this try, but now she would have to risk at the second try. We wish her success.
Вас, видимо, дорогие зрители, просить этого бесполезно, потому что вы уже подвели Юрия
I will not ask you to support. I hope you will stream your energy to help to support Katya and give her the necessary confidence in her forces. Evgeny Ruzhenikov, two-time champion of Russian Drift Series, in his Nissan Silvia S15 called Donna. The first training were energetic, as though he wasn't having this drift for a long time, and then he tried this because he enjoyed this. He wanted this drift so much, unbelievably, and with so much energy. And now it looks like 50% of what I've seen during the training. Well, 120 kilometers at initiation, that's really good numbers.
Все с небольшими запасами, но в общем, как и требуется от первой попытки, здесь все в полном, мне кажется, порядке.
Everything is okay here. It will not be very high, but he will have the second run, and we will. He's the veteran of his team. Shows that everything he lacks is a good car. He had some technical problems last season and this season too. We'll have a commercial break now.
Чистый адреналин, чистый звук. Пионер. Аудиосистема для тебя и твоего автомобиля.
Это я тебе написал в Telegram, но это вчера еще.
Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires. Скорость. Управляемость. Эмоции. Уверенность. Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Заряжают мегадрайвом. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires.
Back to the Tron International Circuit, come back to the qualification of the second stage of RDS Grand Prix 2018, and come back to the first try of Evgeny Ruzhenikov. Here he is with his Silvia S15, run near, and here we see the clipping point and the transition. The judges need all these details, but why not? We also could watch this.
Евгения Ружейникова со своим возлюбленным автомобилем. Обратите внимание, вот это
Turn your attention, this orange box at the car, it's just the
RDS той самой системы, которая намерила Евгению Ружейникову 122 км в час.
it's the meter which
Коррекционной попытки при постановке.
found the speed.
Ждем цифровой вердикт.
Let's wait for the verdict of the judges. Ilya Arkhipov is waiting near the start line, waiting for the second run.
баллов.
78 points as a result for the first run of Evgeny Ruzhenikov, and he lost many points because of his style.
29 очков.
Only 29 points from 40. Ilya Arkhipov, the second try for the driver from Voskresensk. Interesting what he's going to show. Wow, we have the meter which shows, oh, it's very aggressive initiation and straightening near the second clipping zone, and that's the risk of the second try, risk which you can afford, but 0 points finally. That doesn't improve anything, but doesn't make the situation worse. Let's look at this initiation one more time. Ooh, that was really cool. Unfortunately, that didn't finish into anything. But we really appreciated him doing this. That was bold, firstly. Let's wait for the Titikaba, Sergei Kabargin for his second approach. Flanker F, called after the Russian plane. He just getting back from the start line. Aha. He decided to warm up, to drag his tires before the start. Sergei Kabargin, 83 points for the first try and only 21 for the line. But there's nothing surprising here. That looks generally for today. Throttling, acceleration. Big angle, and unfortunately it's spinning. Give him a round of applause, and because he gets the 0 for his second try. Well, let's look at this element. Wow, it wasn't very long. He can afford this. So we'll have no problems with the plays for tomorrow drifts, tandem drifts. And this is Rostislav Brylev, who is ready for his second run. He had only 66 points for the first run, but the 17th position in the scoreboard. Because the general results of the Ryazan is very high, so he can afford this result. One wheel was out of the track, definitely, and the wall was very long, and the transition wasn't done very well in a very good way. He was late for the inside clipping zone, and he finished with a straight
Посмотрим,
wheels.
насколько суровы будут судьи в этом
Let's look at the verdict of the judges. Maybe it will be severe.
такую попытку, если
He may get 0 for this approach.
опять-таки, если вообразить себе
Well, if we imagine the second car, which could follow Rostislav on this track, the driver would have great problems.
это, безусловно, судьи тоже прекрасно
The judges understand this, so
вот завтра такой проект
tomorrow this
и не оставит такому лидеру шансов на дальнейшее
this
продолжение.
rush of a leader will not be possible.
Да, зауглился, распрямился, его там даже
He
проверял
straightened
какой-то
and just
момент.
waved with his car, so
Ждать высоких оценок точно не приходится.
we're not going to wait for high points, but let's look at the result.
Подобные проезды. Нет, 0 все-таки.
0. It's 0, unfortunately.
Строгая справедливость во всей своей беспощадности была явлена судейским триумвиратом.
But actually that's fair.
Подвиженский теперь будет спасать свое завтра. 0 в первой попытке. Это означает,
Alexander
что
Podvizhinsky
вот
has
эти
0 for the first
450
try,
метров
so
асфальта,
this
прогретого
track
солнышком,
will be
станет
decisive for him,
спасительной дорогой в парные заезды.
so that
Посмотрим,
can save him for tomorrow.
Alexander
Tandem drift.
воспользуется.
Okay, let's look how he will do this. Where he wasn't in the first clipping zone, one wheel was out of the track, he didn't get in the second clipping point, he got with the left wheel into the inside clipping zone, but there was a two-stage transition and the spinning, so he will get 0 points.
Опыт, друзья мои, это то, что
It's all about experience,
невозможно заменить чем-то.
so you cannot beat it with anything. To ride in a good way you should ride, you should have practice.
Это, к сожалению, заменить
Unfortunately, you cannot shift it with anything.
пожалуй, вернее, занимает место в топе раздражающих.
That's a phrase which irritates me.
Кто-то передает
You cannot share your experience. You cannot share experience, actually. You can share your knowledge. And in Krasnoyarsk, it's a good place to get this knowledge. It's a good place for with strong drift culture, and there are many pilots from European part of our country who come to train there. Okay, Alexander Podvizhinsky has to train a bit more to do it better in the RDS Grand Prix. Ekaterina Naboichenko slipped out of the first clipping zone, got into the second clipping zone, and everything is the same as in the scenario of the first try, but we hope that the result will be better this time. Katya did this. Thank you for your support.
Да, там за траекторию будет совсем
Yeah,
немного баллов,
she won't get many points for the line,
но пройти, в общем, в шаге от нуля, вот что было важно.
but it was very important not to get 0.
Даже небольшая коррекция.
Well, that was a correction here, as you can see. It's very complicated to see from this angle, but
Ну, здесь скорее следует
here
своих более опытных коллег-дрифтеров.
she follows her more experienced colleagues.
И ни у кого
Almost no one managed to get through this clipping zone number 3
нужно.
as it was needed.
Ждем результат Екатерины.
Let's wait for the results of Ekaterina, and now we can see Nikita Shikov, who is warming up his
А Евгений Ружейников
front
готовится
wheels.
завершить
Nikita Shikov
выступление
is
этой группы.
ready to finish this group.
Да, всего 12
It's only 12 points for the line, and not so much for the style, but it's not 0 and 65 points, the 18th position, so we can smile wider and wait for tomorrow tandem drift and get morally ready. 78 points are for Evgeny Rozheynikov for the first try. Let's see what will change now. His car is called Donna, so let's see what will happen. Okay, it's very aggressive. Something happened with the initiation. Not as smooth as I wanted. Okay, 120 kilometers before the free dash. He slipped out of the first clipping zone. And he will not get many points for the line, but let's wait for the tandem drift. Actually, I've seen today training, and I think that it will be spectacular tomorrow. There were many tandem drifters, and that's why people don't have very high points for the qualification, but let's wait for tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's strategically right, but the drivers are planning to be better tomorrow. Let's look at the finish, how this 25 points will result. For those who don't want to fight for these points, in this season all the points are scored and are important, so you have no chance for making a mistake. It's 3 points better, 81 points. Finally. One more driver of Toyota's Guerrilla Energy, the championship of 2015, Andrei Vesegov. His Skyliner AR32, 437 horsepower. You can see all this data on your screens. He scored a record when he, in 2015, the life was different. Wow, it was very quick, but not a free dashing. He gets to the second clipping zone. It seemed to me that he would slip out of it, but not, he got into it. But not so close to the edge of the asphalt, and yeah, they have some technical problems. There was something wrong with his car, so we can see that it didn't work proper for him. Unfortunately, he will get 0. Unfortunately, actually that's the question whether Andrei will take part today, because there are some problems with his car. If the mechanics can improve the qualities of the car, because there are some technical problems. I hope that they are not very serious. We will have a commercial break for a short period of time, and we'll continue in 2 minutes.
Чистое мастерство, чистый адреналин, чистый звук. Пионер. Аудиосистема для тебя и твоего автомобиля.
Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires. Скорость. Управляемость. Эмоции. Уверенность. Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Заряжают мегадрайвом. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires.
And we're back at the Atron International Circuit, and we can see how the drivers get the places in the qualification protocol of the second stage of RDS Grand Prix 2018. Further Dzierzec is on the line of the start, number 77 Silver S15 LT4 engine. The mechanics were improving the problems with the gearbox. There was changed the suspension, and okay, let's see the result. A good initiation, a good pace. We would like to see the numbers. Okay, we can see it's 124 kilometers per hour. It's quite good. Wow, that was brilliant. Good sound. Quite tough and high. Further did this really good. Let's look at watch the replay and wait for the results of the judges. The first clipping zone was missed. The second was partly, but it was far from the wall. Transition, the judges will take some points from him because of the line. And here we can see the smoke trace behind him. It's Evgeny Losev who's waiting. He's the winner of the first stage. Now some data. 75 points. So that was the first try of Fedor Dzierzec. 21 points for the line and 28 for the style. Evgeny Losev is from Irkutsk. It was a very complicated previous season because of technical problems. He needed to reconstruct his Toyota. But now everything, every 850 horsepower help him, and they helped him to win the first season. Wow, that's a very good pace, 124 kilometers at the initiation. Oh, so much smoke here. Just oh, he missed out of the clipping zone.
наконец-то!
Finally, somebody got into this outside clipping zone, outside zone.
Что это противоречит законам физики, но нет.
It is possible to get there.
Есть подозрение, что если бы не вот эта ошибка на внутренней клиппинг зоне, был бы максимум за траекторию. Давайте еще раз посмотрим.
Let's watch it one more time in slow motion.
Ну, может быть, здесь не предельный
Well,
балл,
that
что
wasn't the
первый
highest point for the first clipping zone. He could have been closer to the wall, frankly speaking. Oh, that's the most dramatic moment here, because he just missed the internal clipping zone. But here he did this really sharp, and he got through the short part and went out through the short part of the marking. That, and he continued in a good pace and finished in a good pace. Will we see the result of a new leader of qualification? There is the question. Well, 90 points is the highest result today. We will see the run of Evgeny Losev one more time, right now. Cannot understand it from here because unfortunately we cannot evaluate this because of the frame camera. So on camera it looks more spectacular than real numbers seen by judges, but that's why television exists, because in TV life looks better and brighter. Nikita Shikov at the start. He's two-time vice champion of Russian Drift Series. But still we cannot see the numbers, the points of Evgeny Losev. He cannot start. Evgeny Losev went to the service park. Maybe he wants to change the tires.
Вообще, конечно, испепелить пару покрышек, проехав менее полукилометра, это говорит о многом. Например, о сложностях завтра. Потому что завтра между двумя проездами одной пары менять колеса будет запрещено. Максимальный балл все-таки есть, но не за траекторию, а за угол.
Highest point, 30 points for the angle. It's the best achievement in this criteria, and we have the highest point now. It's 93 points in total. For Evgeny Losev is a new leader of this qualification from Auto Profi team. He just Nikita Shikov starts his GT86. He just knocked the cone. Well, he doesn't get into the first clipping zone. This was quite close to the wall, and the transition is missed. And here it's also like this. Well, he doesn't get enough waving, enough pace. Unfortunately, but the speed was 120 kilometers. That looks okay, but unfortunately the result will not be very high. Generally because of the line.
Невеселые новости
Bad
поступают
news
из парка сервиса, к сожалению.
from the
самый юный
park
участник,
service. The youngest,
Никита Фетисов,
Nikita Fetisov, has some technical problems, and he will not take part in the qualification. Unfortunately, I still don't see Ryan Turk, who should have been on the track with this group, but still there's the last group. There were some problems with during trainings. There were some problems with getting off the track, and now the mechanics are trying to fix the car, and we have the information that we can still have the hope to see him.
Будет, конечно, досадно, если из-за последствий одной единственной ошибки во время тренировок еще такого.
It will be very dramatic if, because of this mistake, he won't be able to get on the track.
Звезду
Because he is a real start of American Formula Drift.
российской дрифт-серии в RDS Гран-при. Вообще команда IMOL и Team заслуживает отдельной благодарности за то, что приглашает пилотов такого звездного статуса. На первом этапе за эту команду выступал Кристопс Блушс, и вот, кстати, возможно, станет он родоначальником новой традиции. Какой именно после баллов Никиты Шикова, я вам скажу.
19, 27, 26 points, 72 in total.
балла в первой попытке.
In the first run.
Да, еще один дебютант, который
One more debutee in this group, unfortunately wasn't informed or was just unexperienced. He was almost without first try. Is Anton Biden, driver from Yekaterinburg, 23 years old, drift beginner, and that's his third competition in his life. In other events happened in Yekaterinburg, but he doesn't have the asphalt racetrack. And now in RDS Grand Prix, on such a great circuit, he has a first time, and that's really fantastic. Number 91, a very serious beginning. He got on the line of the first clipping zone. And he has only 2 clippings until the finish. He just touched the edge of the clipping outer zone. It's not a 0. We can congratulate him with this, but that's a detail about him. He is quite famous. He takes part in BMX competitions. There are many guys who do like things like this. Also, Ryan Turk all did this before, when he was young. But actually, Turk is not very old now, but he also did motocross when he was younger than now. We'll ask him for details. We're waiting for the points for this run. The points won't be very high because there are many problems with the line, but for the person who does this for the first time, it's a very good try. It was very important for him not to get 0 points, and now he has the opportunity to risk during the second try. Oh, we can see Ryan Turk on his Toyota Supra, number 62, which is not orange, which is multicolored. Oh, it's great that he has the second car. Sergei Kabargin will go on Flanker F tomorrow, because he won't be able to change his car, and the total result is 69. Fyodor Dzержets is at the start, number 77.
было
75 points for the first try. Let's have a look what will happen now. Well, short lane, initiation, missed the first clipping zone, 126.8 kilometers per hour, very quick. Wow, he got with his front wheel. He can do this. He wasn't off the track. There was a question about that on the briefing, but there was an answer that if you have your wheel in the air but doesn't touch the grass, then there is no penalization. You don't lose 5 points for that. There was a correction here, as you can see. He didn't manage to do this transition and he didn't get to the outside clipping zone. 21 point for the line at the first try. And very soon we'll know the results of the second run. Okay, we're waiting for Nikita Shikov at the start. We don't see Evgeny Losev, but he has an opportunity to use his second try. But even if he doesn't get this opportunity to get for the second try, he is a leader. He has a result of 93 points. If there are some problems with the technical condition of the car, maybe it will be reasonable not to risk and try the second run. He will give the opportunity for the mechanics to fix the car, not to lose time. So he improved this for 1 point. It's 76 now. Let's look whether Nikita Shikov could improve this. He had only 72 points in the first try. Wow, that was very curved. In the free dash zone, he flies through the first clipping zone, 121 km per hour, and that one wheel was off the track, minus 5 points. But we will know about other numbers from the judges. Well, if he was longer in this position, we would know what happened in this free dash zone, but they say that he was penalized for 2 points, he wasn't too close to the guardrail. And now it was evident that the car was out of the track with one wheel, and this outside clipping zone wasn't, he didn't manage with it. Andrei Pisegov had a problem with crankshaft. So he had a problem with the crankshaft. That's the question. If they can fix it very quickly, we will hope that it's a small problem. Nikita Shikov improves his result dramatically, so he has 84 points totally. It's the best for his 2 tries. Anton Biden is at the start line. It seems to me that Anton Biden will be the last who starts in this group if before we get the results of Andrei Pisegov and Evgeny Losov get into the start zone, they will have the second try. But unfortunately, we don't see them. We don't see the skyline of... Unfortunately, it's very disturbing for Andrei and for the team, while Anton Biden is missing the first flipping zone. We can see that the initiation speed is 106 kilometers per hour. Yeah, it looks quite nice and smooth for the outside clipping zone. He worked it really well, but another line was not so ideal. Let's look at this race one more time. Let's wait for the judges' points. That would be very complicated for Pisegov if he doesn't come now, because he has a 0. He transited here, and that was in time, and he crossed it in a very good way, unlike his rivals. Denis Migal is in the start zone on his BMW E46, the only driver of the Fresh Auto team who we haven't seen in the qualification. Andrei Pisegov's team asked 5 minutes to repair the car, and actually it's possible according to the regulations. So after we get the points, we will have the timing, 5 minutes timing. He improved his points with the second try, 20, 24, 31 points according to the 3 judging positions, and 75 points for the second try, and this was quite good for him in this drift series. Okay, so let's wait for 5 minutes for Andrei Pisegov. We are watching the car of Denis Migal, the driver of the Fresh Auto team. Денис Мигаль found a problem with the transmission. So he didn't have the speeds, but that doesn't influence the result. It's very dangerous. Maxim Twardowski was doing this in a very dangerous way. He almost touched Denis Miguel, who wasn't expecting this. Wait, so they have only 3 minutes to come back, but it's very dramatic that we cannot wait, we should wait. We haven't still seen Maxim Twardowski, Denis Miguel, who is standing there for a long time, Nikita Fetisov. We won't see him today. It's also... We're waiting for Ryan Turk, who has never tried this in Russia. He's only 32 years old, but he's a legend in United States. He's a veteran of Formula Drift. He's here for 14 years in this type of sport. He's a prize winner for many times, but he hasn't become a champion. Let's look at this only try of Evgeny Losev, qualifying for 93 points. I will tell you that there is a very interesting statistic detail. Christoph Blush, when he did his try on the last stage of the RDS, he won the next. He won the first. He got the first victory. Firstly, trying his best in the Russian Championship. So let's look at the result of Ryan Turks. Maybe they will be founders of an interesting tradition. We have only 1 minute for mechanics of Andrei Pesegov, but I still don't see his car under my window. That I'm not very optimistic about that. Anton Biden is a guy who has everything. Everything is okay with his nerves, because he didn't show that he was nervous. Actually, I believe that BMX teaches to be cold-blooded. So there's no time on the clock, so we don't see Andrei Pesegov at the start line, so it's really sad. So the Toy Tires Guerrillas Energy team doesn't have one of its drivers today. So Denis Miguel, fresh out the team. So you see the representation of this pilot, 530 horsepowers. Only the first, the second, and the fourth gears. His gearbox. Oh, he was too late with initiation in the first clipping zone. Initiated within the first clipping zone, that was too late. Well, will he finish? Will he be able to finish this? It seems to me that yes, but he will get some points, but so you can give him a round of applause, because that wasn't very simple. He's trying to win some time, to get some time for his team, to try to work with this, to try this car. Because with this problem with the gearbox, that's really complicated to get over the top 32. Okay, he straightened here and lost the speed, and then he continued his motion, and he missed everything he could, but still he will get some points. I believe it's not a 0. Maxim Twardowski, Fail Crew team driver. He's one team with Arkady Tsarigradsev. We'll see one more replay. The judges still doubt whether they can give points to him. That's the first try in any case. No, it was straightening here, and but he was very. It took so much time for him to go on the straight wheels. So complicated to say about that. That was a problem with the line here. And again, Maxim Twardowski. He was very optimistic after training yesterday, but today, during the 4-hour session, he just crashed into the wall with his Skyline. From this angle you can see why one of the backlights has such a wide frame. Thank you for showing it in detail. It's not 0. Denis Migal has more for the first try, so he can be more optimistic. That's not high points, but it's 30 points. 30 points are not 0, so it's good. Maxim Twardowski from St. Petersburg. 7-liter engine, 500 horsepower. And if we had the competition for the best sound, this engine would be the best. Initiation, oh no, he missed the first clipping zone, the wheel out of the track. He's trying to be further from the wall, I can understand him, and it's his first qualification try for him. So it's surprising for him to get on the white lines. Maybe somebody explain him how to do this in the right way. Well, I'm joking, but that he tried to make it safe for himself.
Ждем результат.
We're waiting for the result of Maxim Fordovsky, and it's Ryan Turk and Toyota Supra,
Запасной автомобиль
his
команды
spare
Ани и Тим.
car.
Посмотрим, как Райан справится
Let's
с этой
look how
Супрой.
Ryan will manage this Supra,
Кропотливый был процесс настройки
because
предыдущего.
they were meticulously tuning the first car, but if they found their way to make it so they can just repeat this on this car.
баллов.
65 points for Max Twardowski for the first run. It's quite good,
Вот этот,
concerning this small point for the line. It's only 13 points from 30. In style wasn't judged in a very good way.
Оберн, штат Нью-Гэмпшир, Соединенные Штаты
Ryan
Америки.
Turk from New Hampshire, United States of America. He initiated in time. That's the question about the speed, but it looked to be seemed to be very quick. I can see the big box on the speed, so we will not know about anything about the speed, and it's really a pity. But it's not a zero race, but
Поэтому в этой попытке всё прошло достаточно
everything
спокойно.
was quite smooth.
Дождаться результата.
So let's wait for the result, for the formal results.
Казалось, что чуть не на одни задние колеса встал.
It seemed to me that he just stood on his rear wheels, but the line didn't work here.
Здесь в клиппинг зону попал.
He got into the clipping zone, but it was too far from the wall. But I cannot say that the Ryan's problem, because
Тренировался он на
he trained on a different car, so that really influences. The situation is not very comfortable for the driver.
Единственное, что объединяет эту
The only
машину
thing is,
с той, на
which
которой она выступает,
is the same for this car with the other cars, that both are Toyotas.
Всего 16 баллов за траекторию,
There are
что
only
очень
16 points for the
неудивительно.
line,
26
which is not surprising. 26 for the angle, 32 for the style, and totally 74 points.
Ну, повторюсь, тут, в общем,
But
не за победу шла
I would tell you that
борьба,
it was not about victory, it was about qualifying for the tandem drift. So they will be training tomorrow, so we'll have the opportunity to get used to this car, or give the mechanics the opportunity to fix the car, today's car. So he has various options.
опции, да, у Райана Тёрка. Александр Дмитренко, дебютант
Alexander
прошлого
Dmitrenko debuted
года.
last
Интересно,
year
кстати, одновременно с Екатериной Набойченко.
with Ekaterina Naboychenko.
Дебютировал Саша Дмитренко, и по итогам прошлого
And as a
сезона
result of the last season, that was an evident difference. But now we can see that Katya is not worse, because Alexander, that his car is being rebuilt. It's 117 kilometers per hour at the initiation. That it's not very important, because the initiation was really bad. The straight wheels, and he got into this the outside clipping zone.
дотянул.
But he made it to the finish.
Вероятно, судьям придется долго.
The judges will have to think it over for a long period of time.
Сколько же там оставить из, кажется, уже недостижимого максимума 100 баллов. Видите, первое.
Nobody knows how many points he will get, so he just misses the first, the second clipping zone, totally misses.
С выездом за
So he gets off the track, off the edge
трассы минимум два
of the
колеса
track.
было
There were
за
two
передачу.
wheels minimally in the section there we have not been. They had not to be there. And you can see it by your own eyes. It's not 0. We'll repeat this as a mantra, but Denis Ryabkin is at the start line. We're waiting for the results of Alexander. It seems to me that it's his record breaking for the style. Oh no, that was 10 for Denis Migal, but there was a very bad situation with the car. 12 points for the line. So it's not too much, it's really low points. Maybe he will be able to improve this in the second try. Okay, let's look at Denis Ryabkin. Last year he started working with this car and he shows some good, spectacular qualification results. Let's look at the progress this year. He was very close to the wall. For the first approach it was very close and it was really spectacular and great. Transition was good. Oh, whoa! We tried to follow the losses result, but the wheel was outside the track, out of asphalt. But for the first try, for the first approach, that was really, really great. Okay, let's see the result of this approach. And the race on the replay for Itachi was on the edge of the first clipping zone. There were not so many points for this, but look at this, he got into this, transited, but it was too late, but he got into the inside clipping zone, he did smoothly, and here he just was out of the track with the rear left wheel, but everything was quite good even if it wasn't for the situation. But now if he does the same with these mistakes, then it will be really great. But we're waiting for Denis Migral, who will do his best on the second try. Let's wait for the result of Denis Migal's result. 85 points for the first approach is very good result for Denis Ryabkin, and we will add 5 points which were taken off because of the rear wheel of the track. So we can talk that it's one of the leader of the qualification potentially, if he can do this without mistakes. Okay, let's look at Denis Migal, number 33. It's Fresh Auto Team. I cannot see anything from this angle about the quality of the Furidashi. Wow, where's the car? Is here? Aha. Well, that's not the most pleasant view, but actually he was struggling with his car, but there is something special. We can compare it with the cars when they were not being and the drivers were able to, they were aspiring to get to the point which they needed with the technique which was not really well fine-tuned. So it's not the second.
Уж не знаю, что смогут механики фрешафта сделать с автомобилем, чтобы он все-таки выдавал в содружестве, позволял, вернее, пилоту все-таки ехать надлежащим образом в парных заездах, потому что 30 баллов в первой попытке это и мало, безусловно.
He got only 30 points for the first approach, so it's really small result, low result.
Улучшение, да какое?
That's an
Более чем
improvement.
двукратное. У Дениса
Twofold improvement.
16,
He has 16,
21,
21, 27.
26 место.
He's
Ну,
the
совсем
26th
неплохо.
position. It's really
Учитывая
good
обстоятельства.
concerning the situation.
Что, Макс Твардовский.
Max
Вторая
Twardowski,
попытка.
the second
Команда
approach.
65 баллов.
65 points for the first round, which is not enough.
Тренировка очень уверенно ехала.
He was very,
Надеется, что
very good at the trainings, but we hope that he will be able to transmit this training potential into the real race. Well, there is better by the line, I can say this with 100% of sureness. But he is better with the line. He understood that this component is the most important and should be corrected. He had only 13 points for the line and 26 for the angle.
давайте еще раз посмотрим.
Let's look at this one more time. Initiation. Well, I cannot understand this with the first lapping zone, but the judge told me that he got only 1 point for the zone, so Max was far from this point. Ryan Turk at the start line. He's going to have the second run. He decided to get a better result from the Supra. Let's wait for the result of the second approach of Maxim Twardowski. Well, he improved this in the line, and it's quite good. So he improved the angle and this tied, but not too much. 77 points is a final result of. Let's wait for the tandem drifts tomorrow, and let's wait for Ryan Turk. And it's his second approach. It seemed to me that it was very close. Let's see that is verdict. The wheel was out of the track. That's a tradition in the stage, unfortunately. Okay, let's look at this race. 5 points from 6 from the first clipping zone. I get the impression that it was quite quick, but we cannot know the speed. There was too much smoke before the initiation, so I cannot judge about that. 74 points were for the first run and only 16 for the line. There is no one at the start line because Denis Repkin is warming up his rear wheels. They're looking at the front wheel of the Alexander Dmitrenko's car. "87 points. That's a good improvement. 23 for the line. That's the first position, actually. And it's Denis Repkin, who did his first approach in a really good way. It's not about the result, but we're expecting higher points from him. Okay, let's see if he manages this. Wow! So his wheel is out of the track and he missed the clipping zone. The pace is really high, but he will not improve the result, unfortunately. In any case, there will not be the improvement which, for example, Denis could want. It's very aggressive here, but not close to the guardrail and the wall. That's because he just he made the line very narrow, so that's why. We can understand this problem, and the pilots are very careful with this wall, so they try to be careful not to get into this. There's one more problem with this clipping zone, except for the cameras looks like this. It's really spectacular. We can see how close the drivers are, but we cannot estimate how they skip this clipping zone. Only 12 points for line, so it's 2 times worse than the last time, so the result is 74 points. And the last race in this qualification is for Alexander Dmitrenko, number 92. His first run wasn't very good. 52 points. He misses for the first clipping zone, and the second clipping zone he straightens up, and that's 0. Evgeny Losiev had only one approach to become the winner of the qualification of the second stage of RDS Grand Prix 2018. Thank you so much for AMOL-A team that they found a spare car and they gave us an opportunity to see Ryan Turk tomorrow of this stage. I'm very sympathetic to the to Tars Guerrilla's Energy about Andrei Pisega, who will not take part in the struggle tomorrow. And the other results will be seen on the screen. So tomorrow we will have the trainings. Those who want to look at this with their own eyes, you can come at 12 a.m. You will see the parade of the At 13:30 you will see the tandem drifts, top 32, they will start after the autograph session. Everyone can take part in this session. You will be able to buy tickets at the Atron circuit, but you will need the cash. Between the top 32 and top 16 you will have many activities in service parks, the competitions and the prizes and presents from our partners and sponsors. And then we'll also have a good weather tomorrow, so you will like tomorrow. In any case, see you tomorrow.
Чистое мастерство, чистый адреналин, чистый звук. Пионер. Аудиосистема для тебя и твоего автомобиля.
Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires. Скорость. Управляемость. Эмоции. Уверенность. Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Заряжают мегадрайвом. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires.
Чистое мастерство, чистый адреналин, чистый звук. Пионер. Аудиосистема для тебя и твоего автомобиля.
Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires. Скорость. Управляемость. Эмоции. Уверенность. Toyo Tires. Инновационные высококачественные шины класса Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям. Заряжают мегадрайвом. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo Tires.
твои...
Скорость, управляемость, эмоции, Toyo Tires. Инновационные Ultra High Performance бросают вызов высоким скоростям, заряжают мегадрайвом. Движение вызывает восхищение. Toyo